Happy Sunday! My name is Casey Sharperson, and I am a speaker, a confidence cultivator, a blogger, and a coach. And what I love to do is help people live the lives that they were created to live. So it has been probably, I don't know, like a month, 2 months, I don't know, since I've been on Periscope, a very long time. But I decided, since I had several conversations with people across this week and even last week about the same topic, that instead of doing a traditional blog like I usually do on Sundays, that I would do a Periscope instead. So for those of you that don't know, I do have Coffee and Confidence that comes out every Sunday, and that's either a blog or a video or a podcast type thing, pretty much anything to encourage you throughout the week. That goes out on Sundays. So if you would like to join that list, then you can go to caseysharperson.com and I will send out an email. And so once you join on that website, then you'll get notified about everything that's happening in anything confidence related. So as you can see from the topic we're talking about, is this really God's will? So a lot of the conversations that I had with people this week and last week was about, there are these things that are happening in our lives, right? We think that we are in the will of God, but then everything starts falling apart. And that means like you have prayed about a topic, or you've prayed about something, and you really feel like God is leading you to do something, or to go somewhere, or to take this job, or to enter in this relationship. But then you get there and it all falls apart. Like everyone's hating on you, you're not getting the pay you want, you're not, getting any of the benefits or the results or whatever that you feel like should happen when you're in God's will, right? So as believers, and especially in like this time, everyone is talking about being in God's will and being in His perfect will. And so we assume that when we're following God and that we are listening to His direction and doing what He asks us to do, that we're not going to have any issues and that we're not going to have any trials. Which, when we think about it, and you think about anything biblical about anyone who's really gone through anything in the Bible, you will see that that's not even close to true. So you'll see that there are times where God has anointed people to do things and has given them clear direction, but they still face opposition. So you can think of even Nehemiah, when he is burdened with the task of going to rebuild a wall, and he gets there and he gets nothing but backlash from all the people around him. That doesn't mean that he wasn't in God's will. That is probably evidence that he was, because as Christians and as believers, we're supposed to be countercultural anyway. So we're supposed to be the ones that stand out, or that stick out, or that do things differently, because that's what we were created to do. We're not supposed to stand in the background and to be those kind of typical go with the flow, do what everybody else is doing, because we're not of this world. So I just wanted to encourage you that if you are facing opposition in anything, especially if you feel very strongly that God has called you to that place, I just wanted to encourage you that that's likely exactly where you're supposed to be. One thing that we are guaranteed as believers is that we are going to face trials, and we're going to encounter trials, and God is going to allow things to happen to us. And what happens when we have opposition come to us and we have pain and trials and suffering, really that you can think of that as just being molded, and that we're being molded to be more like Christ and to develop things in us and in our lives that we wouldn't get if everything was rosy and perfect, and we wouldn't have to rely on God as heavily and as fervently, really, and like grasping to Him if everything was okay. And so we have to appreciate those times of trials as much as we appreciate the times of just peace where everything is going perfectly. So there was a scripture that I wanted to encourage you with, and that is, I made a note. Okay, so that scripture is James 1:12, and that says, "Blessed is the man who remains steadfast under trial, for when he has stood the test, he will receive the crown of life, which God has promised for those who love him. And so to me, that just reminds me that we're promised something in the end, right? So none of the trials and none of the tribulations and none of the struggles are for nothing. And they're really to develop us and to grow us in all of these ways that we can look more like him. So if you are encouraged or encountering anything dramatic or hard or just frustrating right now, don't question if you're in the will, but just lean into Christ and say, hey, what do you want me to learn right now? How can I endure? How can I persevere through this trial, through this struggle, through this injustice? And that this is an opportunity for you to just plug in deeper with him. So that's all I wanted to say. And so I just pray that this encourages you. Some other fun things. So I haven't really been on Periscope a ton just because my schedule has been a little crazy and kind of unpredictable. But what I am committing to do is every morning in November, I can't tell you a time right now, but you should just turn your notifications on. But every morning in November, I'm going to hop on Periscope and do morning motivation, which I used to do a lot on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. But I'm going to be doing that on Facebook on Periscope in the morning. And so that's just going to serve as another opportunity to just lean into Christ and to start the morning on a positive, encouraging note. So that's what I'm going to be doing. So make sure that you are following me and you have notifications and all that stuff on. But again, if you wanted to sign up for Coffee and Confidence, that's on CaseySharperson.com, along with blogs that come out every Sunday. So if you ever want to reach out to me and chat and whatever, just let me know. So you guys have a great, amazing Sunday. Bye.